Welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. In studio with us this morning, a fabulous interview lineup. One of Jamaica's great institutions, Errol Barnaby, Acting Managing Director of Exim Bank Jamaica Limited. And of course, with him is Mr. Winston Lawson, who is very important, Manager of the Trading and Commercial Lending Division. No, you can't get better than that. Welcome, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Exim Bank,
Good to be here.
making big moves. Tell me, give me the background of Exim and why we need to look at Exim now.
Okay, thank you. So let me just give you a rundown of the mandate of Exim. As you know, it was established in 1986 as the Development Finance Institution and also from the Jamaica Credit Agency to support the government's stated objective of facilitating sustainable economic growth through increased export and sustained job creation by providing competitively priced trade financing solutions to Jamaica's productive sector, including exporters, potential exporters, and direct suppliers to exporters. Since then, the bank has maintained its focus of supporting the productive sector, which includes manufacturing, agro-processing, mining, tourism, ICT service, and also in the creative industry. And all of this was done while fostering growth to non-traditional exports.
Excellent. No, you know, we all never know Exim did all of that.
Yes.
But talk to me. Recently, we've been seeing big moves by the bank. I mean, we've heard of 5% loans and businesses, especially the export and mining and the different sectors. But now you're also telling us about the non-traditional, like the orange economy, that you're into that space as well?
Well, let me, first of all, thank you for having us. Good to be here. Acting MD has explained our mandate.
Yes.
Primarily, we play a role to ensure that our SMEs have access to financing. That's standard. We, as you say, we have been pretty aggressive in ensuring that we have products to respond, certainly, to what we view as gaps, you know, in the marketplace. Yes, we focus a lot on the productive sector. Of late, however, we have been able to sort of tweak somewhat and look beyond or through the value chain.
Right.
And you know what I mean. So for instance, you will have those SMEs that are in the productive sector, but you have other SMEs who support them, who supply them with goods and services. So we look to them as well, because it's all a part of the whole, you know, ecosystem of production. Of late, the most recent one we did was our energy loan.
That's a 5%.
That one comes to the market. That one comes to the market, energy loan at 7.5. 7.5. But at 7.5, it still stands out as the lowest priced product for that purpose. So it is something that we consistently have to do to be able to meet and to respond to the needs of our SMEs.
Yes.
Listening to you, it seems Exim has become very nimble, for want of a better word, because you're now trying to cater as much to the needs of the society as the society changes. Is that
Indeed. It's basically fit for purpose financing. We try as best as possible to fit in the space of what our clients need. Winston just mentioned the energy, which would go up, the energy product would go up to 50 million for either 4 months. We have the e-commerce as well. You mentioned about we could mention also about the 4.5% under the SMTE line, which is enterprises that support the value chain in the tourism sector, that we now have a long-term loan up to $25 million for those 8 enterprises under the tourism product line. And then we have the reset, which is the MSME reset, which is at 4.75%. That up to 10 million for each.
That was 25 as well.
25
per client.
Yeah.
That one was taken up quite quite
When you
readily.
talk about reset, I know you did something
Coming out of COVID. Yes,
Coming out.
yes. That's what economic recovery.
But you know you're going to need to do that again, bro, because there are some companies which are still recovering, and as things are changing.
It's in collaboration with our parent ministry, the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Investment. Let me correct it. Ministry of Investment, Industry and Commerce. So it's a part of the trust for the ministry to make available funds to support the recovery of some of these small enterprises coming out of COVID.
Right. We're still coming out. I'm batting for the business. All right, talk to me though. Exim Bank. Generally, you would have supported export-oriented business, and Jamaica really still needs to build our exports. How are you seeing that sector in terms of people taking up some of those loans, business coming to you, what are the requirements, etc.?
I'll tell you that, Errol, because Errol knows and Exim knows that I am not as happy with the extent of take-up from our SMEs. We ensure that we respond with appropriate solutions. We call them out. We have a great partnership with the TEF, the Ministry of Tourism, 4.5% on Jamaican dollars.
You
That's
need to,
available.
hold on, remember we're talking about the camera.
4.5% on Jamaican dollars to SMEs within the space of tourism. We spoke about energy loan, the most efficiently priced loan facilitate solar and to redirect into that sort of space. We have put together another product we call our Exim Express, where we don't require from the SMEs to provide us with any financial statements. You might say, Winston, that sounds reckless. Yes. It's impossible.
It's receivable financing.
It's receivables. We don't ask you for your financials. We don't ask you to give me your house or your car or your bed. Nothing like that. All we say is that because company A owes you, let company A pay us, and we will advance you the loan. And we get that out to you in 7 days. 7 days. And it's available as we speak. It's available to all the SMEs within the sector, within the target market, as well as those within the tourism space. Keep mentioning tourism because we are very passionate about exports. You would have heard our minister.
It's season export.
And as we're moving forward, we're heightening that push. Exports can come in the form of tourism. Come in the form even of import substitution, which is an issue with the energy loan, because it reduces the demand on the foreign exchange, and we can convert to things like solar and so. So that's a grand push as we're moving forward, and as we try to continue to support the SMEs as best as possible. But as I said, I would prefer to see a lot more take-up. Because we have the products, we have the services to fill these gaps, particularly where the private sector is not meeting them. Exim is prepared to step in and to ensure that they have access to these required financial solutions.
Formality is an issue in our society. We're getting a little bit more formal now, but it has always been an issue. What are the requirements in terms of how formal, registration, how long they need to be in business? What are some of those things that, you know, because the SMEs hearing you talking about these things and saying, boy, that couldn't be true. What are some of the requirements that you know,
well, firstly, they have to be registered.
Yes.
The business has to be registered. They have to be up to date with their tax compliance. They have to be in good standing with whatever sector they are in, with the regulator authority of that sector. And of course, I know you're going to mention about the collateral requirements to draw down. And well, we have a suite of security requirement that we can examine. I mean, we have them in. We can talk. The client just come in and talk to us, and we can so we can fit them into where we can, you know, based on their situation, we can fit them into our space.
All right. Again, what we've seen, the commercial lending space is very competitive. We're talking about from the regular commercial banks through credit unions all the way up to the new boys on the block. BOJ will tell you. The higher lenders, higher price. But it seems to me that for some strange reason, these higher cost loans gets taken up more than even loans like yours.
Do not underestimate the commercial credit right now as we speak up to November 2022 was 14%. Clearly that is not enough to support the engine of the economy, which is the SMEs. This is where Exim fill the gap. We're not competing with the commercial banks, but there are products that we tailored just to fit with the SME that they can work with and avail ourselves to be their partner.
We speak generally of SMEs, and SMEs really are the engine room
Yes.
for growth. But a big company coming in needing big money, what's the top you go to?
We do allow for that. It's not within the majority of the portfolio, but we do have a small space that affords us to respond to the larger entities. We don't like to do more than 25-30% of portfolio to the larger ones. Our focus is primarily to the smaller players, small and medium players in the market, because as you know, that's where real growth takes place. So that's our focus.
All right. So one, we need to be formal, properly registered, have our financials generally, except for the receivables.
No, that's what is our 7-day turnaround time for once you assign the receiver with us, disbursement is immediate.
What about support? Because you're putting your money into these entities, so you want to ensure that they can pay you back. How do you, monitor, follow, support, if you may, in ensuring that
I mean, it's typical rudiments of loan, diligencing and monitoring. No different. I mean, we have our resources internally that does the assessments one, the adjudication two, and the monitoring three. So we are pretty much resourced for that. There is not much variance to the typical processes, whether at private sector or in the public sector. I mean, the rudiments of credit lending and so on is pretty similar. We understand some of the nuances, and that is why we try to tailor some products like that Exim Express that I told you, where we would have removed the requirement for the financial statements. That has always been one of the bugbears for the SMEs. Getting those financials together takes time, costs. So we have been able to look at it and say, look, let us find a way around that. Obviously, properly assessing the risk, because we also have an obligation as a government agency to lend prudently.
Yes, indeed.
And all right, as we look now at Jamaica looking to grow, coming out of COVID, we'll be seeing some good numbers. You talk about tourism, etc., where we're seeing the recovery, and there is a demand as businesses look to increase their business and expand, especially internationally. What sectors? I know we talk about tourism, I know we're into export and mining, but is there a particular sector that, as coming out of government, relating to the ministries, that you're seeing as, hey, this is the area that the growth is going to come from, this is something that we really want to focus?
It has to be manufacturing. Don't underestimate, it has to be manufacturing. For us to grow, for export to grow, we have to export, manufacture, and get our goods out.
So we have to do value added.
Value added as well.
So we're not just looking at trading, somebody doing some commercial this, and we're looking to add value and create jobs
Indeed. Yes, indeed. So yes, as we said, we continue to be very passionate about exports. We can't leave tourism out of the mix whatsoever. We have a very close relationship with the umbrella organizations, Manufacturing.
JMEA.
Currently now is a JMEA, the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, right up our line. The manufacturers, exporters is where a lot of our passion resides. We spoke about, I mean, we are not ignoring some other, we look at creative industry, try to look at creative industries as well, and see how best that we can serve.
That's a big
But we
export.
haven't turned away.
As we look to wrap, gentlemen,
Sure.
final words. What is it that you want the viewing public to leave this discussion with?
Well, first of all, just to assure our SMEs that Exim is here as your partner. You need to come in and talk to us. We are very much ready to avail ourselves to funding your needs. And I look forward to some of the issues that the SMEs are, some of the objections that they have with our Exim, execute its duty, that we can sit down around the table and iron it out to them. Right?
No, I would only echo. I mean, it's just to give the reassurance that we are here. It's our mandate to find solutions to ensure that you have access where you're not getting access. Exim is here to play that role.
Excellent points. An excellent way to which to end the interview. Exim is here. We're talking about access. We're talking about low cost. We're talking about come in and talk to us. We'll find a solution. And that's why we do these programs. That's why we say here at Let's Talk Stocks, we give you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us Monday morning at 9 when we'll have another great and wonderful program lined up for you.